Are you ready for the earthquake shaking the Commanders? First, our franchise QB is on the brink of a medical decision that could end the season. Will we repeat the mistakes that buried generations of talent? Second impact, the heart of our offense is battling a brutal diagnosis that could leave our attack crippled against Atlanta. Do we have depth or are we a one-man team? And when you thought everything was falling apart, a 7th-round rookie just revealed how he went from ignored to the KEY to our future. This is not just football, it's the ultimate test of whether the new regime has what RGIII, McLaurin, and AP never had. Subscribe now or miss out on the truth that will forever change your vision of the team. Turn on the bell and leave your like if you want to see DC rise from the ashes. Look, I'm going to tell you something that has this entire city on edge. After years of watching this team waste quarterbacks and ruin promising careers, we finally had our savior in Jaden Daniels. This kid had us dreaming of playoffs, had us dancing in the streets after that epic win against Cincinnati. And now it turns out his future is in the hands of a medical team. Adam Schefter just confirmed on Get Up what we all feared. Daniels remains a massive question mark. For this Sunday against Atlanta, ESPN's insider was clear, it will be a completely medical decision. If Daniels plays against the Falcons, he is leaving everything in the hands of others. We'll see what the doctors say. I'm telling you this. When I heard those words, I immediately thought of Robert Griffin III. Remember that damn night in January 2013 against Seattle? When Mike Shanahan let RG3 keep playing on that compromised knee, and we ended up destroying the career of the guy who was supposed to be our future for the next 10 years? Now I ask you, are we watching the same movie again? Because Daniels' knee injury against Green Bay on Thursday Night Football gave me exactly the same chills. The difference is now we have Dan Quinn and Adam Peters. To professionals who understand that the long-term future is more valuable than any individual win. But here's what really worries me. Daniels got hurt in Week 2, completely missed the game against Las Vegas in Week 3, and now in Week 4 is still doubtful. That means this injury is more serious than we initially thought. We're not talking about a little knock or minor discomfort. We're talking about something that has doctors being extremely cautious. And you know what's the most frustrating thing about this whole situation? That Marcus Mariota played incredibly well against the Raiders. The veteran showed he can handle this offense, that he has chemistry with the receivers, and that he can get us wins while Daniels fully recovers. But I think we all know there's a huge difference between winning with Mariota and building a future with Daniels. Now I ask you a crucial question. Should Quinn take the risk and play Daniels at 70% against Atlanta? Or be patient and wait until he's at 100%? Because I honestly believe that after everything we've suffered as fans, after seeing how this organization wasted so many opportunities in the past, it's better to be conservative. While Jerry Jones in Dallas is pressuring Dak Prescott to play injured every season, Peters is making the smart decision to protect our franchise quarterback. The Eagles rushed Jalen Hurts' return last year and it cost them in the playoffs. The Giants have never known how to handle Daniel Jones' injuries. But we finally have management that thinks long-term. If that surprises you, just wait to hear this. But here comes what really has me emotionally shattered. Terry McLaurin, our scary Terry. The man who has been the only positive constant in this offense during the darkest years of this franchise, is in serious danger of missing the most important game of the year so far. Schefter also revealed devastating details about McLaurin's quad injury that took him out early. Against Las Vegas, the report was brutal. If McLaurin doesn't practice again today, that would tell us that the Commanders are likely not going to have Terry McLaurin on Sunday. I'm telling you this. Terry McLaurin isn't just our #1 receiver. This man is the soul of our offense. He's the guy who kept this franchise alive when we had absolutely nothing else to offer. Since he came in 2019, he's been our only consistent threat. The only player opposing teams truly respect and game plan for specifically. You remember the years with Dwayne Haskins, with Taylor Heinicke, with Carson Wentz. In all those chaotic seasons, Terry McLaurin was the only light in the darkness. And now, just when we finally have an offense that can maximize his talent, an injury threatens to snatch him from us at the worst possible time. Now I ask you, how in the world are we going to attack that Atlanta defense without our best receiver? Because look, McLaurin isn't only our main deep threat. He's also our safety blanket on third down, our most reliable red zone target, and the guy who opens up the field for everyone else. In that game against Las Vegas, even with Mariota throwing to him instead of Daniels, McLaurin managed 3 receptions for 74 yards. averaging almost 25 yards per reception. That is what we lose if he can't play. We lose that ability to change the momentum of a game with a single explosive play. But here's what worries me more. Atlanta has a secondary that can be vulnerable, but only if we have the weapons to exploit it. Without McLaurin, Jahan Dotson is going to have to take a huge step forward. Curtis Samuel will need to play the game of his life, and our tight ends will need to contribute more in the passing game. I believe that this is exactly the kind of adversity that's going to define the character of this new regime, because while the Cowboys depend entirely on CeeDee Lamb and collapse when he's not available, we need to show that we have depth and versatility in our receiving corps. The Eagles last year lost A.J. Brown for several weeks, and their offense completely collapsed. The Giants without their main receiver are practically harmless. But I have faith that Cliff Kingsbury has been preparing these other receivers for exactly this situation. The reality is this: if McLaurin can't go, we're going to find out if we truly have a championship caliber offense, or if we're just Terry McLaurin and 10 others. And that answer is going to determine not only the result against Atlanta, but our realistic expectations for the rest of the season, and when you thought we were done. And when you thought we were only going to talk about injuries and worries. Here comes something that's going to completely restore your faith in this organization. Jakery Bill Krosky Merritt just opened up about the absolutely incredible journey that brought him from being the last pick at running back in the entire 2025 draft to becoming our lead back. In a recent interview with Grant Powelson and Danny Ruyer on 106.7 The Fan, Krosky Merritt revealed something that gave me chills. I fell to the 7th round, but I feel that was definitely a blessing for me. I don't see it as a bad thing because I'm a Commander, and I take immense pride in that. And I don't think I could have gone to a better team. I'm telling you this. In an era where young athletes only think about contracts and personal glory, finding someone who genuinely embraces being underestimated and uses it as motivation is absolutely refreshing. This kid understands what it means to wear that burgundy and gold jersey. But let me tell you the whole story because it's pure inspiration. Krosky Merritt started his college career at Alabama State, an HBCU where he had to fight for every opportunity. Then he transferred to New Mexico, where he finally explored his potential with the Lobos. He had a spectacular season that led him to Arizona, where he thought he was finally going to shine in big-time college football. But here's the part that breaks my heart. Due to eligibility issues, he could only play one game in his entire senior season with Arizona. One single game. Imagine the frustration, the despair of working your whole life to reach that level, and having circumstances beyond your control ruin your chance to shine. Now I ask you, how many players would have given up at that point? How many would have said it's not worth it and would have quit? But Krosky Merritt did the opposite. He stayed with the team, worked on the scout team, helped his teammates prepare, and kept improving every aspect of his game off the field. I believe that mentality is exactly what Adam Peters was looking for when he picked him in the 7th round. He wasn't betting on athletic talent alone. He was betting on character, perseverance, and that kind of hunger that can't be taught or manufactured. And look what's happened since then. With Brian Robinson Jr. traded and Austin Eckler out for the season, Krosky Merritt not only earned the starting spot, but won Rookie of the Week in his first game as lead back. THAT is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. While Jerry Jones in Dallas keeps obsessing over big names and first-round picks that don't deliver, Peters is finding gems like Krosky Merritt in the late rounds. The Eagles have poured massive resources into their running backs and haven't found consistency. The Giants keep hoping Saquon Barkley will lead them to the playoffs, and it never works. But we're building something different. We're finding players who understand that success isn't just about individual talent, but about maximizing opportunities, about seizing every moment, about understanding that being part of this organization is a privilege to be honored. Now I ask you, isn't this exactly the kind of story we needed after years of mediocrity and questionable decisions? A kid who sees being drafted at the end as a blessing, who embraces being a Commander with genuine pride, who understands that hard work will eventually be rewarded. I believe Krosky Merritt represents everything that is changing in this organization. The culture, the mentality, the way of identifying and developing talent. This is not the same team that wasted first-round picks on Chase Young, or didn't know how to handle the development of young talents. With everything happening with Daniels and McLaurin's injuries, we need Krosky Merritt to be that special spark, that X factor that rival teams don't see coming. And I honestly believe this kid has all the mental and physical tools to be exactly that. Washington Commanders, after analyzing these 3 explosive news stories, I'm going to give you my completely honest perspective on what all this means for our immediate and long-term future. First, Daniels. Second, McLaurin. Third, Krosky-Merritt. 3 situations that will define not only this game against Atlanta but potentially our entire season. Daniels' medical situation leaves me torn between the anxiety of not having him available and the peace of knowing that we finally have an organization that prioritizes smart decisions over media pressure. McLaurin's drama is devastating for our immediate offensive prospects, but it's also an opportunity to show if we actually have depth or if we're a one-man show. And Krosky-Merritt's story confirms to me that Peters and Quinn are building something special based on character and a winning mindset. What do you all think about the conservative handling of Daniels' injury? Should we risk him against Atlanta or keep him out until he's fully healthy? And McLaurin, can Dotson and Samuel fill that gap if our star receiver can't play? And doesn't Krosky-Merritt's story make you excited about this franchise's future? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments because I want to hear every perspective from you, my Burgundy and Gold family. If you think Quinn should play Daniels even if he's not at 100%, give this video a like. If you think he should keep him out until fully healthy, subscribe to the channel. This community is a family, and families stand together in tough times and celebrate together in triumphs. If you haven't subscribed yet, this is the perfect moment because I guarantee tomorrow we'll have more explosive news, and you can't miss a single update. And remember, hail to the Redskins!